Hi everyone, delonewolf here. Welcome back to the Sunday recap, my weekly vlog where I talk a little bit about my last week in games. As always, we'll start with some EVE Online, and I think I still managed to play around an average amount of EVE Online, although it has been extremely busy at my real life job. I managed to do quite a bit of exploration with the Gila, try to find the right tank setup. It's pretty obvious that I needed more HP than a full focus on the resistances, and I'm actually pretty happy with just the one extender at the moment. I might actually want to upgrade that to a faction extender. That'll just be that much more efficient both in fitting and in the amount of HP that I get, but I am a lot more comfortable now with the Gila while it's dishing out 900 DPS, and it can often one-shot the frigates and destroyers from the Sancha sides without too much trouble. So really an awesome ship, and definitely one that I'm planning to keep. Next phase, I'm not sure yet. FanFest is coming next week, of course, so hopefully we'll get some nice information there, and hopefully we'll be able to set some goals in EVE Online. I'm really curious as to what the keynotes will bring when it comes to FanFest, so we must not miss that. I'll do everything that I can to try and catch that as soon as possible, although I still have to just go to work as well, of course. On that front, there is a small teaser in July at the moment where you can take a look at a Triglavian cruiser that seems to be damaged and is currently manned by a DD officer. Who knows what that's going to give, but for now it looks like it's just sitting there, and it's a bit of a teaser for what's coming next. Other than that, in EVE Online, I am currently still working on the blueprint copies, but I have changed that to a weekly schedule now. So I set my job so that I can just pick him up once a week, and then I take him off to Jita and I try to sell them there. I usually get between 15 and 20 sales in a week. So let's say 3 million for a parts BPC, and then, well, it goes up to like 40 million for a BPC for one of the structures, and also the Orca BPCs are selling quite well at the moment. So the market is definitely still alive there, and next to the BPCs, of course, I do my daily PI so that I can keep that production going. It's just really nice passive income that is helping with the fuel situation, which well, I still have to fuel maybe every 2 weeks or so. I put some more fuel into all the structures to keep things up and running. Next up, we have some Hearthstone. So I'm still playing those solo dungeons from time to time, and in fact last week I really wanted to try and make a video of me beating the solo dungeon with a cool warrior deck, but that just never worked out. I got bad powers, bad cards, and then the final boss, I just couldn't get past him, and so that actually became close to frustrating in the end, which is why I dropped Hearthstone mostly in the second half of the week. I still might play a quick solo dungeon once in a while, you know, if you feel like you're finished for this evening but you still have like a couple of hours left to burn. It's absolutely perfect for that. Replayability of those solo dungeons in Hearthstone are really great, but it is RNGesus that governs there, and he really beat me down a little bit last week when I was trying to beat those dungeon masters with a warrior deck. I had some pretty cool games. In fact, I think I had one dungeon run that went for like 50 minutes where I had 2 fatigue battles, and eventually I lost a fatigue battle against the Shadow or something like that. I mean, those final bosses, especially the Shadow, I think he's the most unfair one. You really need something very specific in order to, I would say, somewhat reliably give yourself a chance to get past him. You need a deck that can handle a fatigue battle, which is like very specific. You need some very specific legendary cards in order to do that, and on top of that, I do think that the powers, that's okay, there's lots of stuff you can do there, but those treasures, like once or twice throughout the dungeon you get some specific treasures, and you really want some of the good ones, like the wand. So there's a wand that draws 3 cards and makes them cost 0, and there's another one, the Horn of Scenarios, that just recruits 3 minions from your deck for 3 mana. You know, you need some of those really turnaround plays that will then hopefully come out soon enough in order to beat those final bosses, and it just didn't happen. So I got stuck a little bit on my goal in in Hearthstone, and I actually think that I'm just gonna let that go and focus a little bit on some other stuff. Some of that other stuff is of course the World of Warcraft, so I'm still playing that on a daily basis. On top of that, last week some pretty cool news dropped. It's that the Battle for Azeroth expansion is coming in August. August 14th is currently the announced date for the new expansion, which probably means that maybe a month, maybe a bit over a month before that, we'll get like a pre-patch that'll change a lot of things as well. That can be really cool to play in as well. And I do feel like I'm pretty much ready though. So I've been doing some more Argus quest lines, earning some more Veiled Arcanite. At the moment, I've been really lucky with one relic that was basically Titan Forged, I think it's called, to 925. And so at the moment, what I'm going to do is I'm going to replace my gladiator pieces with more of those items from Argus, and I think I can consolidate those gladiator pieces which you get from Battlegrounds into an even better one that you can get through a vendor. So at the moment it's just a little bit of consolidation, get my gear up to the point where it's about as good as I can get it without going into mythics, without going into raids and things like that. And then I might actually just, you know, casually play some Battlegrounds every day and work on my professions, because with the deadline for BFA actually closing by more than a month at this point, it's not that long anymore, and I don't feel the need to go into mythics, to go into raids, or to do any of the high-end content for this expansion. I've always said it, when it comes to World of Warcraft, my goal, what I'm looking at, is the Battle for Azeroth. There I will play a little bit more intensely. I might actually really try to come on every day, do as much of the content as I can, and to keep up with the progress of the game as Blizzard brings out new patches. But for now, my Shaman is in a pretty good spot. I think I'm really happy with the choice of going with the Shaman. I've got my fishing at 800, took a little bit of work, and now I think I just basically want to get my other professions up as well, and finish up my readiness for Battle for Azeroth. But don't expect any real high-end content or anything like that from me. I'm just doing this quite casually, and I'm definitely at this point finding my pace. I'm pretty happy with the character, and I don't feel this need to like play for 3-4 hours every day or something like that. In fact, I feel like I could skip a day and not feel bad about it, although I would still set my followers on a mission. That's basically my PI of World of Warcraft. Just, you know, get your followers to earn you some gold or something like that through a quick mission. But I am settling there. I am still playing that daily, which is the goal, but I'm not playing that for 5-6 hours a day anymore, which gives me room for some other stuff. And that's why this weekend I bought the latest DLC, Apocalypse for Stellaris. So that is something that I've started as well. I'm not exactly sure how I'm going to handle that. I'm actually having a lot of fun in my very first game. This time it's going to be the Rise of Skynet. Some nice exterminators there looking to crush all biological life in the galaxy. It's a bit of an exploration game, this one, of course. There's lots of new stuff in this DLC, some really big changes to, well, lots of the mechanics, especially the war mechanics, where you can't just build up one massive fleet anymore. All of that has changed quite substantially, and I do look forward to exploring the game a bit more, making a couple of series out of that, and so far it's definitely a lot of fun, a massive change, something that I didn't expect, something that you really don't see that much outside of MMOs, I think, where they bring something out, the new patch, and they just basically completely change the core aspects of the game. In Stellaris, this is something that they've done now, I think, for the second time, and this one, I mean, it's really major. So much has changed that I would need probably like 20 minutes to just scratch the surface of all of the changes that I've found so far. There's those new massive Titan ships that I still need to get to. So there's lots of stuff to do there, and that's definitely something that I'm gonna put some time in next year, exploring that new DLC and the new mechanics in Stellaris. So far, it looks pretty damn cool. And basically that's it for this week, guys. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you all next time.